Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is ashleysharum. I am a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex with Ebby Holiday Realtors, the Richardson office. And today I wanted to take a moment to stop in and chat with you while my daughter is napping inside to discuss new construction. I have had the opportunity to work with a lot of buyers in the past on new construction deals. Some have opted to go the new build route, whether that means a quick move-in or building from the ground up. And I love all houses, so I'm happy to help them through the process. But there's a lot of confusion about realtors and new construction and what kind of deal a buyer can get if they opt to go with new construction. So I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about that because it just came up last week, and I figure maybe it's something that needs to be put out there. A lot of people like the idea of new construction. You're not inheriting a whole bunch of problems from a previous owner, which is fine. That can be true, but it can also mean a whole different world of headache. So I wanted to kind of talk with you about some of the points that are most important as far as working with a realtor through the new construction process and what that means for you and your bottom line, and what that means for your house goals. So number one, I wanted to make it a note that realtors talk to each other, and we all have experience in the field, whether that is with new construction or maybe a builder rep that we've met in the past. We have had interaction with different builders, whether that's D.R. Horton or Highland or Lennar, any builder over here, you name it. And we have probably had some sort of interaction with them either at an office meeting or with clients that have elected to build a house with them. And so it is really good, sound advice to go ahead and talk to your realtor about what are good builders and what are bad builders. Which ones should I entertain and which ones should I kind of steer clear from? You would read a review on Yelp if you were going to a new restaurant and going to spend a whole bunch of money. You would read a review on Amazon if you were about to buy a product and you were going to drop a whole bunch of money on that. And so you would think that with one of the biggest purchases of your life, one of the most emotional purchases of your life, that you would also talk to your trusted advisor, and your realtor is the perfect person in that scenario. So make sure that you reach out to your realtor and ask what are good builders and what are bad builders. If you don't want representation, that's fine. We'd love to just at least give you a little bit of sound advice and say, you know what, I had a wonderful experience with this one. I think you'll be in really good hands. So that's first and foremost. Another thing to mention is whenever you do select a builder, a lot of people are a little bit dissuaded when they actually get to talking some serious numbers with the builder, because then they realize how much is actually involved with the personalization, let's say, of your home that you're going to create. And so part of that is the lot premiums that are involved. Realtors know this because they've experienced it before, but a lot of buyers don't know that builders can charge lot premiums, and that means basically based on the location in the neighborhood that you are wanting, they're going to charge you a lot premium, which usually means it could be anywhere from a $10,000 lot, it could be a $40,000 lot, it could be an $80,000 lot, or even more. Maybe it's at the end of the cul-de-sac or overlooking a lake and it's got a really great view, or just a highly sought after lot that a lot of people are going to be after, then they're going to charge a higher lot premium. And so when you look at the builder website, or maybe a billboard as you're passing down the highway, and you see that new homes in this subdivision start at $325,000, that usually does not take into account that lot premium. So make sure that you are talking with your realtor, a good opportunity to talk to your realtor again about their experience with lot premiums, what's reasonable and what's not, so that you know that if you're getting taken advantage of, or if you're kind of in the ballpark of what's realistic, really. Another thing to talk about, and I have had some funny experiences with this one in the past with my clients, is upgrades and modifications. When you go and see a model home, they are tricked out from soup to nuts with everything that the builder could squeeze into that property. And so it looks great and it looks cohesive because they had a designer come in and usually stage the property as well. But everything in that home typically is an upgrade. There are a few builders out there that do not, they don't tax you quite as much with upgrades as maybe some of the other builders, but by and large, when you walk into a property, you're going to see extended crown molding, and you're going to see rounded corners, and you're going to see even Smurf tubing, so that you can hang your flat panel TV above the fireplace, the way the tile is laid, the grout in the tile sometimes is even an upgrade. The granite countertops, sometimes those are an upgrade. And so you really have to look at the model specifically with a different set of eyes. You want to make sure that you keep that at the forefront of what your budget conscious mind would have you pay attention to, because you don't want to get into a situation where you walk into a new development prepared to pay $250,000 for your brand new home, and then walk out of there thinking, oh, well, by the time I get all of the upgrades that I was actually thinking about, this home is more like $347,000. So talk to a realtor or have them accompany to you with you to the builder's model, and have do a walkthrough with your realtor and ask, do you think that this is an upgrade? Do you know if this is an upgrade? And they'll be happy to share their experience and their information with you. That being said, once you get to the nitty-gritty and you are ready to place an offer on a home, it's exciting and it's thrilling and you can't believe you're actually putting pen to paper. But another thing to keep in mind is that the paperwork that you sign with a builder is created by the builder. So that there's a lot to be said in that. And so you want to make sure that you have somebody that's working in your corner as your advocate, because they're drawing up those documents. They can put whatever they want in those documents to protect them. And so it's kind of nice to have somebody in your corner that's going to read that stuff at night, so that you're not bored out of your mind, and make sure that you have some COIA, that you are protected. In most cases, maybe that you have the ability to perform an inspection if you want, or what kind of walkthrough options do you have? Do you have a day to walk through and do a punch-out list? Do you have specific timelines that you need to meet financing requirements? There's a lot that goes into a real estate contract. We go to school for it, and so whenever you go to put pen to paper with a builder, just keep in mind this is something that is drafted and for use by the builder, and it protects them above and beyond everything. It protects them. So keep that in mind. If you needed maybe an attorney to look over your documents, we are happy to recommend a real estate attorney that can help you in that. We by no means, realtors do not want to make it seem like we are practicing law. So we're not going to read the contract and necessarily interpret it for you, but we're there to be a sounding board. And if you have questions about the contract or want someone to look it over and make sure that you have certain things there, then that's certainly something that we can do for you. Another thing is talking about your lending options. So a lot of builders will give you certain incentives whenever you use their preferred lender, which is great. That's a way for them to retain that money. They make some money off of it whenever they use, their lender is used in the purchase. And so that's all fine and well. Maybe it's worth it because you're only going to be staying there 5 or 7 years to use their lender and get $25,000 in incentives. That might be worth it to you. However, maybe it's not worth it. I've had a couple of builders that have required the use of their lender, a couple of builders that have given incentives for using their title company. Those are all fine and well, but everything should be negotiable in the state of Texas. And so if you have maybe a private lender or a bank that is able to offer you better rates, or it just makes more sense monetarily. If the builder, let's say, isn't even offering any design incentives, then maybe you need to look elsewhere, and maybe you need some lending options. So we're here to give you information for loan officers that we have used and that we have trusted. I've been in the game for 10 years now, and so I have a very short list of lenders that I trust after going through deal after deal after deal. You don't want to get into a nightmare. You want to have a lender that works for you and that is trying to earn your business every day of the transaction from start to finish. On that note, we talk about lending, we talk about financing, we talk about negotiations. And just like the builder's contract is written for the builder's representative that is there on site is typically unlicensed and works for the builder. They are paid a salary from the builder, and so their allegiance is going to be with the builder. They're not trying to get you the best deal. Another thing to take note is in Texas, if you think about who's working on what side of the transaction, in Texas, dual agency is frowned upon and illegal. I can't work for a seller and I can't work for a buyer at the same time, because how am I getting the seller the most money that they can possibly get and the buyer the best deal that they can possibly get simultaneously? It doesn't make sense. So those builders reps that work on site, love them. Some great people. I've met some fabulous people in the past, but they work for the builder. They are paid by the builder. They don't really care about you saving money for your child to go to college. That's just not that's just not their what gets them awake in the morning. So another thing to think about is who is working in your corner. You know, who is your advocate throughout the entire process, not just with negotiations maybe, but who's going to be calling weekly and checking on the status of the build, who's going to be demanding that there's some progress made whenever there's delay after delay. I've been in a situation in the past that was a little tense because the builder wasn't able to comply with the promises that they made. And so I was able to alleviate a little bit of the stress for my buyers. They found the builder themselves, and we went down that road for them because it was a house that they loved in an area that they loved. It all turned out fine. But at least having somebody else to kind of, you know, be your strong arm in the corner and make the calls maybe that you don't want to make week after week after week. Because I guarantee what starts out as a 60-day process is going to turn into a 6-month process. So new construction can be fraught with delays, and it's our job to kind of take that stress off your shoulders. It's not supposed to be stressful, it's supposed to be fun. And another thing is, lastly, I guess I should say, it costs you nothing to have a realtor that is on your side whenever you're building a home. The commission money that is given to a realtor and their brokerage that is from a new construction deal is actually a whole totally separate fund for the builder. They're given all kinds of money to play with as far as community outreach per se, but basically they have a marketing fund, and they go out and they meet realtors all the time, and they sponsor lunches and they sponsor breakfasts because they're trying to earn business. And so our commission money is not coming out of your bottom line. It's not coming out of the money that you are paying for your home. It's coming out of a completely separate fund. They have a budget for that. So don't let that be, don't let that give you apprehension whenever you are thinking, yeah, you know, I really need somebody that's going to be on my side and that's going to work for me. I don't want to go into this blindly, but if I do, maybe they're going to take that off the sale of my home. That's not how it works. We are taken care of otherwise, so don't let that dissuade you. We're here to be your advocates. We're here to be your help and your guidance, especially realtors. If you're working with somebody that has the realtor designation, then they abide by a code of ethics. And so it matters to them that you have a great experience, and that at the end of the day, you can be proud of the home that you have built, whether that's, like I said, a quick move-in or new construction from the ground up. So let me know if you have any questions or comments on this. I would love to answer your questions about new construction if that is what is for you. There's a lot of new construction in DFW. They're trying to keep up with the housing market, and I will say that they are selling for top dollar, but there's still deals to be had. So let me know what is on your mind. Do you prefer resale or new construction? What do you love about new construction? What do you not like about new construction? I'd love to start a dialogue with you. So I hope to hear from you soon. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to me. My email is ashleysharum, SHARUM, @ebby.com. And you can reach me on Facebook at dfwashley or via email or text. So I hope to speak with you soon. Have a wonderful Mother's Day, a wonderful weekend, and let me know what you think. Thanks.